Hey YouTube. Recently, I've gotten back into a game that I played years ago when it first came out, Fallout 76. This game had quite a few issues when it first launched. It was full of bugs, and not the radioactive kind, like legit, actual game-breaking bugs. And it suffered from a severe lack of end game content. I think at the time, all you could do was fight one really strong enemy over and over. There was also a lack of in-game human NPCs. All of the quests that you had to get, all of the information that you had about the world was given to you by terminals and little kiosks. It was really bizarre. I don't know why they didn't have any human NPCs talking to you. All in all, it just felt kind of empty and very much bland. So after putting that game down and saying, "Well, that was a an attempt at a Fallout MMO game," right? It was it was okay. It was kind of bittersweet, but it was okay. Fallout is a great series, and I love seeing it get such a revival because of the TV show that's coming out on Amazon, which is a great show, by the way. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it. But it's such a great franchise, such a great property. Anyways, so I decided to get back into Fallout 76, give it another chance. I know that it got upgraded quite a bit. I know they added actual human NPCs. They added more of an end game, just gave it more support and more love over time. And jumping back into it was a lot of fun. I originally started playing it on my Xbox, and there is not a way to transfer your progress from the Xbox to a PC as far as I can tell. And there's no crossplay either, which is a whole different problem. But I made a new character, and I was given the option to start at level 20, and I did. And I jumped back into the wasteland. I ran around, I started doing quests, and then I realized that they had added some new perks. Yeah, a lot of the old perks were there, but there was also some new ones. And apparently, you can now also become a ghoul, which is kind of cool, but I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I will for this character, but that's still really neat. But the thing that really interested me was some of these new perks that I saw. I don't know if they're new or I just never saw them before. Give me a break. It's been several years. I was actually able to turn my crossbow into the ultimate death dealing machine. Very surprisingly. Before you come after me in the comments, I'm going to straight up say that this is just one of the many play styles that you're able to adopt in this game. You can have high-tech laser weapons, you can focus on power armor gameplay, you can have big guns, you can have a melee build. And I did start primarily just using melee, just smashing things with a sledgehammer, for a good 10, 15 levels or so. But then I picked up a bow, and it was really fun to use. And then I found a crossbow, and that was really fun to use. But then I was leveling up my character, and I was choosing which perk cards to get to apply to my character to give different bonuses and things. By the way, I really like the perk system in this game. That the having to get different cards and having to spend the point values to equal out the number of. Anyways, it's really cool. I like it. I came across a certain set of perks that dramatically changed the gameplay for me. Let me go over them with you. So currently, this is my point spread that I'm playing with right now on stream. I don't think it's the best or the optimal one or whatever there is, but it definitely gets the job done, and it includes what I want to talk about, which is having the most fun and being the deadliest thing ever with a crossbow. Right off the bat, I saw that there was some specific perks relating to bows and crossbows, and that piqued my interest. I've always had a love for using bows and crossbows in video games. I'm not sure why that started, but it definitely is a thing of mine. So the first one I saw was this card, Bow Before Me, or Bow Before Me, or however you pronounce that, where your bows and crossbows ignore armor and have a chance to stagger. Up to 2 value on this perk card, giving you 10% stagger and 40% armor ignore, which is really strong. I saw this card and I said, wow, that's interesting. Specific perks for crossbows and bows? Intriguing. Tell me more. And I went through the list and I saw that there was another one, hat trick. And I said, what is hat trick? Well, I looked at it. Arrows and throwing weapons bounce towards 3 additional targets, dealing 70% damage. Oh, so you're telling me I could shoot a crossbow bolt and it'll bounce between enemies like Captain America's shield? Yes, that's exactly what it does. As long as the other targets are close enough to the original target and there is a direct line of sight between them, there's no walls or things between them, then you can shoot one crossbow bolt and potentially kill 4 things. It's absolutely insane. And I said, well, I've got to do this. So I went to work making the deadliest crossbow build ever. Well, that I could think of. I'm not going to say ever because I really don't like it when people say this is the best thing ever. Well, is it though? I mean, that's pretty subjective. Anyways, that's beyond the point. Anyways, I decided to maximize the lethality of this with some good old-fashioned agility perks. There's an agility perk that deals specifically with bows and crossbows and throwing things called Ninja, where, for 2 points, bows, throwing, and melee weapons, ignore the melee weapon part, does 100% extra sneak attack damage. You get 3 points in covert operative, so your ranged attacks do an additional 50% sneak damage. And Mr. Sandman, so that silence weapons, crossbows and bows count as silenced weapons, by the way, they do an additional 100% sneak damage. So these 3 perks, that's 250% sneak attack damage just with those. I gave myself 1 point of sneak so I could have a little easier time sneaking to the target. And Action Boy, just because I'm doing a lot of VATS shooting. Yeah, I do my sneak attacks in VATS most times because it's faster and easier. And I'm a little lazy, so sue me. I got myself 2 points of Down Ranger so that my range attacks deal extra damage to far enemies, and Tank Killer to ignore some armor to do more damage. And I got more accuracy based on VATS for your perception because I put a lot of points into perception, so might as well use VATS, right? So those are primarily my crossbow abilities, and I've got some other things to help me with, quality of life and strength and endurance and other stuff like that, but that's not specific to crossbows and bows or the build. You could have whatever else you want, basically. Now, you notice that some of those perks also mentioned throwing weapons. I did start using the throwing knife as a joke, but then I realized that because of those perks, the throwing knife is actually really strong. I mean, look at it. The base damage is 320. Now, using the throwing weapon is different. It does have a bit of a drop-off. But if you get good at it and you are able to aim it effectively, this thing is an absolute killer. It's super lethal, it's cheap and easy to make. I think it takes 1 or 2 steel scrap per knife, and it doesn't take up much room in your inventory. It's not very heavy, so I'm carrying 107 of these bad boys. If I throw one and get a sneak attack with it, it does upwards of 1,500 damage. I'm not joking. I have killed a Deathclaw with throwing knives. It's insane. And because of the other perks, it does bounce between targets and hit multiple targets. Now, it's shorter range than a crossbow, obviously, but it does more damage, and it's actually a lot of fun to use. So, right off the bat, let me show you how good the crossbow is with sneak attacks. There's a mole man right around the corner here, and I'm going to hit him with a crossbow bolt, and you're going to see that it does a lot of damage, most likely killing him right off the rip. Where'd he go? There he is. That was 1841 damage. I mean, sure, it was a crit, but still. If there had been more mole men around, it would have bounced. Let's see what that looks like. Just gotta hunt for some more targets here. There's got to be some nasties out here to shoot. Okay, we're approaching some enemies here. Let's see what we got. We got some ghouls. So I'm not sure what that ghoul is up to. So let's get a little closer to that ghoul and see if we can't line up a couple good bounces. From this distance, we should be able to get a good sneak attack or 2. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. So here we go. Well, you gotta load your crossbow first, obviously. But here you go, shoot. That's exactly what we're looking for. One crossbow bolt, several kills. I couldn't even see the other ones, and it looks like they're all dead. Yeah, they're all dead. There you go, folks. Proof is in the pudding. And because of the quirk of the game, I'm getting multiple crossbow bolts back from the bodies. So, yeah. So you fire one crossbow bolt, you get 20 bolts back. At one point, I had 1,300 crossbow bolts. I had to drop them on the ground. I was holding too many. Yep, that is basically, this is perfectly working as intended. One shot, 4 kills. That's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, it looks like it shot this one, bounced into this one, bounced into this one, and then bounced out here and killed this one. Amazing. Okay, let's see if I can do some good throwing knife bounces. This is a pretty good spot. You see some ghouls up here. I should be able to sneak up on them and hit a couple of them. If there's more than one, that will get a good kill anyways. He thinks he sees me. Oh. Well, he was by himself. This guy is creeping on me. Let's stop that. Okay, there's something below me moving around. And I'm hidden. Okay. So let's see what we can see here. Okay, good. A couple ghouls. Let's get a good throw bounce on them, hopefully. I'm stuck. Oh, he moved away. Okay, well, here, this will work.
William, knife man.
There it is. Over 1,000 damage each on that bounce. So that's what I'm talking about. The throwing weapon bouncing, it's easier to get to sometimes if you can angle that throw. You have to aim above them because it does drop off, but it's such a cheap weapon. It does so much damage. And it's a secondary throwing weapon, so you're able to use it in addition to your primary, like the crossbow or whatever else you have on you. It's such a good weapon. The throwing knife is so slept on. But there you go. That's the playstyle I've been doing on my Fallout 76 so far, is sneaking around with a crossbow, ricocheting my shots, hitting multiple enemies, doing massive sneak attack damage, and just enjoying it. I get a little giggle every time it happens, and it makes me so happy. And it's super effective. The crossbow damage is really strong. If you can keep getting critical hits or sneak attack hits, I think it's really good. So go ahead, use this information. I hope you have a good time with it. Let me know if you've enjoyed it or if you yourself have a different idea for a playstyle for Fallout. I'm all ears, folks. Like I said, I've really been enjoying getting back into this on my stream. If you haven't seen my stream and you're curious, you can check it out right here. Thank you all for watching this video. I just wanted to put this together to share what I've come across. Hopefully, it'll help you, inspire you a little bit. Maybe if you also played Fallout 76, you could also get back into it yourself. You know, I recommend it. The game's gotten a lot better. It's gotten some love, some good updates. But that's all I got for you right now. Take care of yourself, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.
End of the day, let's glide away. Be cool, take it breezy, that's the chill way. Cool peace says good night. Dreams says good night. Dreams take flight. Dreams take flight. Have a good day.